What the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw the trailer for The Order 1886 when it was unveiled, I wasn't totally sold on it. Being developer Ready at Dawn's first original IP, and considering how much I enjoyed their PSP game God of War Chains of Olympus, I kept an open mind. I thought, okay, let's see what these devs can do. And what was the end result? Mixed emotions to say the least. First off, let me just get this out of the way. This game is gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games to date, rivaled only by Uncharted 4, which came out more than a year later. The game's 19th century London setting is captured and represented beautifully. It makes the gritty, dirty, and disease-ridden streets of a crime-ridden London look so pretty. Which makes sense, it doesn't make sense, whatever. Yes, the game looks great, and it nails the steampunk style it was going for flawlessly. And even though this game is basically an on-rails adventure, the city does seem to have life to it, as you're charging through the houses and buildings, chasing monsters, running through crowded streets and alleyways, weaving in and out of cover and trying not to shoot pedestrians. Another plus for the game. Unfortunately, for everything this game does right, there's an equal aspect of it that it does wrong. Now, I'm all for a good old-fashioned linear game, but The Order is just too damn linear for its own good. The environments look so intriguing and I want to explore them, but you're always closed off and being fed through a specific path to the next part of the game. This game could have benefited from an exploration element, and perhaps more open-ended areas and multiple paths to reach your objective. Controls are another thing that I'm not too fond of. Don't get me wrong, the controls aren't broken and they work just fine, but I find them to be too stiff and unforgiving at times, especially when I have a lot of enemies bearing down on me. Switching between cover and trying to aim feels disjointed and awkward. It's by no means broken, but it just doesn't flow as well as its contemporaries. And the battles with the Lycans, which is the game's main antagonists, are too easy for their own good. Now, when I saw the gameplay trailer of the guy transforming into a Lycan and charging at you, it looks pretty frightening and intense and it looks cool as fuck, but in the actual game, it's just a rinse and repeat battle of dodge, parry, and shoot. It has no real strategy required whatsoever, and the in-game prompts to dodge take out any hint of skill you'd have to acquire to master the battles. And finally, and this might be a pet peeve, but what the hell is up with picking up objects to inspect them? Aside for some neat Easter eggs such as Sackboy from Little Big Planet, picking up objects to inspect them serves no purpose in terms of progressing the game. It's almost like the devs just wanted to show you how well they rendered a piece of paper.
Look, the story was great, just the controls were complete garbage.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But Ant, you said that you loved the game though.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong with it.
This fucking guy and his bias toward this fucking game.
I understand that the story is amazing, but the problem with the game is it's 68% cutscene and the rest is gameplay. Like, what kind of game is that?
Get your heat switch out of this order! Get your heat switch out of this order! Get your heat switch out of this order! Get your heat switch out of this order!
Weapons and shooting in this game, however, is largely satisfactory. And while there isn't a huge variety of weapons, there are a few standouts, such as the thermite rifle, that can spray out thermite in a large spread, which can then be ignited to take out multiple enemies at once, and the induction lance, which is basically just the railgun from Metal Gear Solid, but it's still a ton of fun to use. Taking out enemies is one of the most fun aspects of this game, and landing headshot after headshot does make you feel like a badass. Now let's talk story. To keep it short, simple, and spoiler-free, The Order centers around central character Sir Galahad, who is a member of King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table. Essentially, him and his fellow knights have discovered the secret of immortality, which is a liquid known as the Blackwater, and they've continued to serve the royal crown over hundreds of years, fighting off Lycans, vampires, and other supernatural beings. Things go awry, however, when Galahad discovers a traitor in their midst and unveils a conspiracy which threatens him and everyone around him and the future of his order. The story is definitely the strongest point of this game. It tells it well, and it keeps you interested. One of my favorite things about the game is basically how Nikola Tesla, who's one of the most important scientific minds in history, essentially acts as your personal Q from James Bond, designing all your weapons and gadgets. That's fucking awesome. The story does leave off open for a sequel, and I hope it gets it, because for all the game's annoyances, the story kept me hooked all the way through. In the end, though, I would say that The Order is a game that's worth playing. It has a AAA Hollywood epic story, interesting and likable characters, stellar voice acting performances, incredible set pieces, and awe-inspiring graphics. While it has a large number of shortcomings, it's worth playing purely for the story. Ready at Dawn has created a great mythos and setting that I hope will be expanded on in the future. If they could take some cues in game design from, say, Naughty Dog, and listen to feedback from fans and reviewers on how to improve the basis on which the game is built, and turn up the intensity, the next chapter in this story will truly be something great. I give this game a 7.5 out of 10. If you could find it for cheap or know someone who has it, definitely pick it up. You'll love the story.
We have to keep moving.
Hey, thank you guys so much for watching the latest episode of Nerds at War. Here we both support the music and gaming community. We use music from the latest Awaken Providence EP, so please check them out when you get a chance, and stay tuned for many more episodes in the near future.
Look, the game's controls are just ass, and the fact that it was just 60% cutscene just makes it even worse. That's just how I feel.
What the hell does he know?
Hey guys.
Who are you?